Hey guys, going to make a quick update video on the glass skates I got 2 weeks ago. Been using them for basically about every day, so maybe 1 to 2-ish weeks now. I'm going to be talking about them. You can look at the topics on the screen and just skip to whichever part you care the most about. The second part of the video is actually going to be very important because I'm going to be talking about what gives you good tracking aim, essentially quote unquote. What I've realized at least what's more important than skates. So yeah, we'll just be going into the first section. For the glide analysis, I want to just get this out of the way early and just say that glass is just really bad if you have a humid environment. Knowing that, so you should never literally even bother considering it if you have a very humid environment or you're in a humid area, I guess. Now, moving on, the biggest thing about the glass skates, honestly, after they have broken in, so I've been using it now for like 1-2 weeks, is that they honestly now are very controlled compared to before. They have lost that essentially that really fast feel, I guess. That extremely low static friction where you barely touch it and move, it's not really there anymore. Not to say that it has completely lost everything, like in terms of the glide. I would say it's still pretty good in terms of control. Now, at least, it's way more controllable than before. Now it actually makes it viable to use, especially in like a tag shooter game, for example. And in terms of tracking, it honestly is still pretty good. One thing I have to mention about glass skates versus PTFE is that glass is actually a lot more dependent on basically the type of mousepad you're using. It's kind of really important. I'll get into this basically into the next section and talk about it more. But basically, just if you're going to use glass skates, I suggest at least you use something like a softer pad rather than a very hard pad or a mid pad, I guess, like my Heian mid. And I have to also say that you can feel the glass. This is again just a feeling. Some people might not like that. I just felt like I need to get that out of the way as well. The thing about PTFE as well and glass skates is that PTFE will actually glide fine on mouse pads when they have dirt on them. So what I mean is basically if you have a glass skates on a mouse and you're moving it through, let's say, a dirty pad, you'd actually get really bad glide compared to if it was clean or not. But with PTFE, you would actually do still pretty fine on, like, let's say, a dirty pad. This glass, I guess, reacts just completely horribly to dirt on mouse pads. I actually cleaned my mouse pad just to see the difference, and it was actually like way better. If you have really bad maintenance of your mouse pad, you should probably never consider getting glass skates because they are really dependent on how clean your mouse pad is. That's probably the biggest downside to getting glass skates, to be honest, from what I've seen at least. It's kind of annoying to have to force clean your mousepad every maybe 3 months, maybe even 6 months, depending on, of course, how dirty you get it. For me, 3 to 6 months isn't that bad, so I don't mind using them. And honestly, again, I might have made it sound like the tracking and has like completely gone, but honestly speaking, the tracking is still really fucking good. Like it's nowhere close to bad, and I'd probably still continue using them for a long while. For this part of recommended setups for glass skates, just ignore everything you see right now and just focus on what I'm going to say. Uh, if you really want a fast setup, basically just, I guess, really consistent glide or fast glide, I guess, you'd go for the best setup would probably be any PTFE skate with SkyPad 3.0. This is probably the best way to go, and it's probably better than any current setup going right now on the market, I guess. There's nothing that's as consistent as nice as SkyPad 3.0 and any PTFE feet from what I've seen online. Do know that the SkyPad does go for a hefty price of 119, so yeah, I guess you consider whether you'd get it or not if you can afford it. It does do better than any fast quote unquote mousepad and glass skates because again I've said glass skates are dependent on the mousepad and are dependent if they get dirty or not, which is in my opinion fucking annoying. But you'd actually, you know what, this would probably be faster than the SkyPad if you had like a Shinnenkai, for example. But the thing is that Shinnenkai doesn't last really long, and yeah, I said it's based on how dirty the shit is. So yeah, I'm gonna be ranting about basically just how to have essentially good quote-unquote tracking aim. I'm gonna be making another video. I'm just gonna put it in the link in the description, hopefully, if I don't forget. Just go to that video if you're interested about the rant. But the biggest takeaway is that if you're going to get glass skates, use a soft mousepad. Soft would probably be the best. This and the safest option in terms of an artisan mousepad if you're going to get. But in general, don't get hard. Soft. The softer you go, the better. quote unquote. Just get soft though if you're, I guess, not willing to take a risk. Should you get glass skates? Honestly, in my opinion, you don't really need any type of aftermarket skates. Like, it doesn't matter, not even glass skates or even aftermarket PTFE skates. The only time I think to ever consider any glass skates or even skates in general is that if your skates are currently garbage and they're fucking torn or some shit like that. Um, and probably the second thing would be, honestly, the main thing, if you're getting glass skates, you should do it for the experience. You shouldn't be doing it for trying to at least min max your fucking aim, quote unquote. It doesn't matter. The most of the time is it's gonna be you, dude. It's gonna be all, it all comes down to you. You can play fine on normal PTFE, stock feet, doesn't matter. Glass skates are essentially fun, and you should do it for the fun experience. Um, like, that's another main reason you should do it for. I primarily got it because I wanted to try something new and something for fun, and overall it was actually really fun. Um, in that term, if you're trying to have fun, I guess it'd be really good to actually do it. I think everyone should try it. I had a lot of fun using it, and I think the last important thing is that if you have a hard pad, you should never get glass skates. Hard or mid, I guess. But even though I did fine on the mid, high, anything extremely hard though, definitely not, should not even bother considering to get glass skates. But yeah, the biggest takeaway that I want you at least to take from this video is that definitely get glass skates if you want it for the fun experience. If you do just want to try something else and see how the tracking feels like with glass skates, I honestly suggest it. I think the tracking is really fucking good. Especially for me specifically, I like it when skates are very thick because I feel like just aim is just easier in general rather than when they're really thin, like Tiger Ice. I just hate that for some reason when it's thin, but not saying Tiger Ice is bad at all. I'd say Tiger Ice are really fucking good. If I could get any other skate other than glass skates, I'd probably get Tiger Ice again. But just the feeling of thick skates are really nice for me. So yeah. So that's the end. Thank you for watching, guys. If there's any suggestions or maybe something you want me to talk about, just put in the comments. If you guys have any questions, you guys can put in the comments as well. I'll be answering pretty quick. Yeah, that's it. See you guys. I just shut on.